Hello, dear friends. You're watching your weekly astrology horoscope. The beginning of this week is going to be a little bit slow. The main reason for that is Saturn. Saturn, which turns retrograde on the 5th. And within the upcoming week, especially the first few days, Saturn is still very, very slow. Which means that things around us can also be kind of slow. They may take more time, there could be some delays. If you have also some kind of legal matters to solve or work that includes communicating with government institutions, for example, or even some kind of restructurings in terms of your plans or your business or something like that, perhaps it would be better to wait towards the end of the week if that's an option, because Saturn can delay all of those processes. And if you want something to fly and happen quite fast and, really boost things, probably it's better to wait until the end of the week. Because towards the end of the week, we have kind of the opposite energy, because Venus will be in conjunction with Uranus. The exact conjunction is on Saturday. But of course, the closer we get to Saturday, the more this energy is building up. So we can feel this even before that. And Venus with Uranus is going to be actually the most interesting aspect of the week, which can bring something exciting, something unexpected, something very untraditional as an experience and as an emotion, and even as in terms of practical results. So relationships, negotiations, even financial decisions, they can all be areas where we can try and experience something new. It is also, of course, possible that things can be more unstable and more unpredictable, so keep that in mind. Sometimes this is exactly what we need. In other cases, we want to avoid that. It will be up to you as well. So the most important thing is actually that we have a significant difference between how the week begins and how it ends. And it's better to plan the more routine activities that require really patience, which are not necessarily very creative, but kind of needs to be done. It's better to plan this for the beginning of the week. And things that require creative approach, untraditional vision or ideas, that may work much better towards the end of the week. Now, let's look at each of the days so that we can be prepared. Monday is, first of all, the day when Saturn is extremely slow. So again, I'm reminding, things may take more time. Be patient. Don't rush through things. Also, perhaps don't push yourself too much. Try to focus on the routine, maybe a little boring, but still necessary tasks. And the other thing is that there will be a minor challenging aspect between Venus and Neptune, which can also make us a little bit unfocused, a little bit oversensitive. People can take things too personally. So in communication and especially in relationships, things might be more challenging because of that. So slow, patient work without too much focus on activities that would require lots of concentration and like coming up with something brand new. More routine, patient work. Moon is in Virgo, which also supports basically the same things. On Tuesday, we have an interesting mixture, like 4 aspects are happening at the same time. They include Sun, Uranus, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, and Pluto. A whole mixture of those planets. So the day can be quite active and there could be some changes. There could be something new that we may try. At the same time, we also need to keep kind of like a practical approach to this. So don't go all in to something, like extremely new and something that you have no idea how it will work. Like experiment, but not on 100%. Like try to keep this balance between kind of like doing what you know and what you are familiar with and what have already proved to work for you, but also try to add something. So use the well-known as a foundation, and on top of that, you can experiment a little bit. You may try something new. You may add a little bit of something, something different, but don't take like everything to the extreme and, kind of like invest too much of your energy or time or effort into something which is like very unknown. So a little bit of a complicated task, but that's how things look like. The moon is in Virgo, which can help us with also some practical perspective and approach and position. So be grounded, be practical, and also add a little bit of something new. Wednesday is kind of calmer day. We have the moon in Virgo until noon. So it's better to do your practical tasks or tasks that require more concentration, more practical approach during this first half of the day. During the second half of the day, the moon will move to Libra, which is great for negotiations, for doing more of the things that you love, and overall for trying to balance and harmonize things. There will be positive aspects with Mercury and Pluto, which can add even more ability to focus on the important things, to be committed and dedicated, and in communication, things may work pretty well. On Thursday, the moon is still in Libra, which again brings the focus to relationships, negotiations, communication, and there will also be an opposition with Mars. So be careful, there might be some conflicts. You may either overreact or somebody may provoke you, or very often it can be both. So more attention, try to think things through. Don't kind of like go with the first idea because it can be a little bit too impulsive. And again, in communication, more attention. The good thing is that again on Thursday we have a nice aspect between the moon and the sun, which can really help for some kind of personal expression, to do something that you really like, something that would really present you and your desires and your skills and your talents. So the day can also be pretty active. Friday, it's quite interesting because Mercury is having a positive aspect with Pluto. And this can really help your concentration. You can dedicate your full attention to something that is very important and be able to look at things from different perspectives, like get to the root of something, plan it, be committed. Even in terms of negotiations or communication, this aspect can be helpful, and also for some business planning. After all, the signs which are triggered are the earth signs. So you can expect some practical results, concrete achievements from your effort. So a great time to get fully invested into your plans, communication, again, meetings with people, especially related to business. The moon is in Libra most of the day, so even better for social work, for communicating again, and for relationships. But during the evening, we need to be more careful because the moon is moving to Scorpio, and this increases the possible tension and overall the atmosphere gets a little bit heated. So be more careful around the evening. Saturday is, as I already said, kind of the most interesting day during the whole week because Venus is together with Uranus. It's happening in the sign of Taurus, and Venus is the ruler there. So we have a pretty strong Venus. And that's good news. It can help us to be also more connected to our desires, to what we really want in terms of many different things, including relationships, including money, including practical things that we want to achieve. But it's also important to try to look into what would you like to change. It is an aspect of deep and profound changes. So it may change also important things in your life if you are ready for this. Again, financially, love-wise, in terms of practical things that you want to manifest as well. So think in terms of what do you want to change, also about your feelings. How you feel about money, how you feel about relationships. How would you like it to be instead? How do you want to change this? And it is a time of possible also emotional tension. People, again, can be kind of like too tense. Also, another reason for that is that the moon is in Scorpio. So we need to navigate this process. It's possible that it can be very exciting, very liberating, very kind of like fulfilling, especially if we want some change and variety. But we may also, again, experience some emotional outbursts or overreactions or just too much tension. Hopefully it will be the more creative side of this combination. And finally, on Sunday, most of the day the moon is in Scorpio, so until 6 p.m. And we still have this intense energy. So for some serious work, for some energy practices, that's a great time. Also because we have a trine with Neptune, which can really help us to also focus on some kind of, activity that will also help us to relax. It can be yoga, it can be swimming, whatever you enjoy. But try to, especially if you feel the tension building up, try to do something. Especially helpful would be to use water. Cold water, it can be warm water, whatever you prefer. Usually cold water works better for this tension release. But try to work on your emotional and energy balance. And during the evening, the energy and the atmosphere can change significantly because the moon is moving to Sagittarius. And that's kind of good news, especially if you have felt tension and if you need things to be a little bit easier. The moon moving to Sagittarius can help us to be more positive, to look at things from a different perspective, to be more kind of like, optimistic about things and life in general, hopefully. So that's how next week looks like. Not too many events, not too many aspects. Again, probably this Venus-Uranus and the Mercury-Pluto aspects towards the end of the week. Friday and Saturday, those are like the most concentrated days. Tuesday also has lots of aspects, but they are minor, but they are many, so it's interesting as well. And again, don't forget the general tendency. Routine, kind of like slow work in the beginning of the week, creative, dynamic work towards the end of the week. That's my recommendation. Thank you so much for joining me. If you have any questions, if you have any shares, please do that in the comments. You can always text me also wherever you can find me. Email, Telegram, I'm everywhere. Have a beautiful week, everybody, and I will see you soon.